time and for opportunity to chat online with you.
It's a pleasure.
It was an idea from me and my team, and I think this will help Laines Du Nord brand develop in Russia, and we will continue our good cooperation.
Good, very good.
As you know, I want to ask you some questions to open to our audience also on YouTube more information about you, your brand, and how you work, what is your philosophy, and so on. So let's start.
Okay.
So Riccardo, my first question is when and from what yarns started the brand Laines Du Nord, and what it is for now? Maybe some statistics, some numbers.
Okay, so Laines Du Nord start in 1979, and my father Piero create the company. He start working only in Italy, and start from very few yarn, basic yarn, standard yarn like merino wool and two baby yarn with very few color, because in the beginning in Italy where the company sell, the request is huge, and only for few color like white, black, blue, red, and baby color. So
the merino yarn was the first one which you started.
Yes.
Which
the merino and another yarn, it's always 100% wool, and it's called Junco. It's super wash yarn, and this is the yarn Piero start with.
Okay.
And in end of the 80s, the knitting yarn business in Italy was very popular. There was a lot of shop, a lot of demand of yarn. But after 3-4 years, the business start to fast go down, and a lot of company, even small company as Laines Du Nord at the beginning, closed. Mostly because yarn was not interesting. But Piero, consider that at the beginning Laines Du Nord was Piero and just a woman that help Piero. This is how Laines Du Nord start. No more people.
Two people.
Yes, only 2 people. In a very, very close office, small office in Torino. Is capable to maintain the company open also in the year when the business is not good. And he started to increase a little bit the collection, starting with some fancy yarn, but not so fancy, just to stay on the market in Italy. And then I started to work in Laines Du Nord in 2000 and 2001, 2002.
This is one of the next questions.
Okay, so it's the first question. Sorry.
And how many yarns for now positions are in Laines Du Nord brand?
The yarn we begin? No. This old yarn was not in the collection now.
And for now, how many yarns you have in your collection?
In our collection, we have more or less 30 yarn.
30 yarns. So you start from
and fancy.
Yes. Okay. How many people for now work in Laines Du Nord?
Now we are 9 people.
9 people.
Yes.
So you are a brand, also a factory, and you like You are both in one.
Yes, yes, exactly. So we
Yes.
have the brand, and we also produce for other.
Yes. What makes Laines Du Nord different from other brands and factories? Your philosophy and mission. Why you left on the market in this difficult period, and why you still work?
Mainly, what make us different? I think probably in Italy. I'm talking from Italian company. We are the only company that produce the whole collection, from the classic to the summer to the fancy. We don't buy any yarn from other supplier, especially in the fancy yarn, like most of our competitors do.
What advantage it gives you that you produce everything?
Probably we offer something different. Not all the yarn are different. Mainly the fancy, the basic yarn, more or less, all the company have the same. Change the color, some quality. But in the fancy yarn, we are more free to do what we want. So, and the other advantage is that since we produce what we have, in some cases we are more competitive in prices.
Yes.
So your main advantage is your fancy yarn collection, which you design by yourself and produce by yourself. And as a brand and as a factory in one, you offer good prices.
Yes.
Can you imagine your? Can you describe the knitter who knits from your yarn, like your portrait of your client?
Probably
How you see?
are knitter that knit good quality yarn, knitter that are interested in some different color combination, not maybe what is present everywhere in the market, and knitter that also look for 100% Italian yarn. And mostly, I think, started to be also young knitter. Now I'm talking for Italian market and the market I know. But we focus mostly on the young knitter.
To grow population of young knitters to become
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We need them to continue to work.
Yes. So we are coming to your profession as a designer, and can you tell me what you take into consideration when you create a new yarn or new collection? It's very interesting process.
Mostly, I start looking the fashion week. So to understand what can be the trend for the color or for the effect. Then I use a lot Pinterest. I look a lot Pinterest because it's full of inspiration. And also I have always to consider what our machine can do. So I have to combine the trend with the production. So both must match in the perfect way. So we can go and move well in the production. And then I try to focus a lot in color combination. That for us it's important. We work a lot on color. But for the fancy collection, yes, I look a lot at the fashion week, the magazine. fashion. So this is what I use to create.
So when you see some idea or some trend, you start from the garment which will be knitted. I understand correctly?
From the garment, or sometimes just from an image that I like. Can be also something for home decor, or maybe an effect I like, and then I try to take this effect and put on yarn.
Okay. So maybe I understand that you take inspiration from fashion, and do you take inspiration from other places, maybe nature, maybe where appear these color trends, color changes, how they appear in your as a designer?
I take all the components of the color that we have, and I only put together. It's my personal
Vision.
vision. Yes, the first color of Poema. Sometimes I take inspiration from something from nature, but not too much. So it's then I often I also ask if my color combination are okay to my sister Sarah, that is more young than me, and also she follow a lot the fashion. So I also ask to her if what I do is okay.
So we can call your business like family business.
Totally, yes.
Because your father
the
company.
Laines Du Nord 4 are family. So my father, my mother, me, and my sister work in the company.
Okay. For now, or maybe for all the time that the company exists, what yarn is the best seller or the most popular among your clients?
In the past, probably the merino, our dolly line. Now, not too much. Now the most popular is all the Poema line. So then this continue to be very popular, and from 2 years the sock yarn.
So you see this trend in sock yarn, as we already spoke with you about. In Russia it's very, very popular. I think only now the market is past years it was growing. Only now it is finding a high point, you know. Yes, so for now Poema line is the most popular and bestseller, and you develop this line adding to it new compositions, new effects, and this is like
strategy for your Poema line for now. Yes.
Yes, we started 6 years ago with Poema, only Poema. And then we see that Poema became more or less a brand. So we had Poema Cashmere, Poema Alpaca, and other yarn where we use always the word Poema, so people can recognize it. And so Poema,
yes,
standard Poema, we stay in collection. Now is a classic yarn. This year we continue with the Poema line, adding a new position. So
okay. So as I know, you also work with big brands, and you combine your own brand with work with these big brands. I'm not asking which brands you are working with, because maybe it's not correct. Exactly. But it's just for our spectators that you are the factory and the brand, and so that they should understand what advantage it gives to them as knitters, as knitters. So, from which Laines Du Nord yarns you personally have garments, and what are they?
Not too much, honestly. But I have some garment with merino, with dolly. But mostly I use for garment for my baby. So I use Laines Du Nord yarn for the baby, not for me, because I use more thin yarn for my personal use. I have something in dolly and in one old yarn that now we don't have in collection, but mostly it's dolly, the yarn I use.
So you should now use your sock yarn. It is okay also for your winter.
Yes. I have some sock for me. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you have a son or a daughter?
Both.
Both. You have a son and
One
a daughter. Okay.
10 years old, and the daughter is 11 months.
Great. So you are a young father for the second time. Okay. The next question: why did you decide to become a designer? Was it a dream, or it was just a circumstance in your life?
It's a circumstance, because I study economy.
Yes.
Then I started to work in the company immediately when I finished university. And when I start to work in the company for 1 year, I just try to understand more or less the business. Then for 2 years, I was a salesman for Laines Du Nord, so in Italy. So I visit shops, I try to sell the collection.
Sell to shops?
Yes. And then talking with Piero, we decided to start to present Laines Du Nord out of Italy. So I stay for 1 month.
What year it was?
20 years ago, more or less.
20 years ago.
So I stay for 1 month or 1 month and a half in the US, try to find a customer. And so this is how we started to sell not only in Italy.
For now, in which countries you sell like big quantities? To which countries?
Except Italy, we sell good Laines Du Nord in US, in Russia, China. We have a good distributor in China. Not too much. Okay, of course, in Italy, of course, yes. And then we sell in the north, very north of Europe. So Denmark, England, a little bit in Australia, but just a little bit, not too much. And this is the market at the moment.
Okay. Do you need yourself?
No.
Okay.
I never buy, and nobody teach me. So no, I don't.
Yeah. Your wife?
No, my sister, yes, very good. My mother also, but me, no.
Okay. I also don't need, but everybody asks me this question in shop. Okay. Then I want to ask you about the paint sock collection. The second and also the first one editions. What inspired you when you created it? Did you like our view on it through Russian cities and regions? Tell me something about this. How it developed and
when I see your label where you combine the color to some Russian city or nature, it's something that I find interesting. Not so easy to do. Probably in Russia you have more inspiration than what we have here in Italy for the color. How is born Paint Sock? When I started to think on sock yarn, I look all the collection of sock yarn in the market on internet, of course. So Lana Grossa, Regia, Opal, all the big companies that have sock yarn. And what I see is that the great part of the sock yarn change in composition, of course, but the fancy one are very similar one to each other.
Yes.
More or less everything is jacquard or this.
Yes.
So I try to make something different, and it's possible also because the dye house where we print, we have a collaboration with them, and they have a machine, a very technology machine that can print more or less everything. So every time I have an idea and I put on the paper the idea, is possible to translate on yarn. So it's also thanks to them that it's possible to make this sock yarn. And so Paint Sock, also we all the sock we have include Paint Sock. We work only on one ball, two identical socks.
This idea.
Yes.
Okay. So as I told you, we want to develop this collection, and we saw a good reply from the market for this collection of travel socks, and they asked us to make for other regions and for other cities. So this is our goal in near future, to send you some ideas and maybe ask you to make for us the next travel sock edition. It would be great.
No problem.
So what are the main reasons that you decided to connect your life with this industry, with this knitting production of yarn?
This is the first work I start to do, and then is the family company. So the reason is this. Then every year the business improve, the company grow. So now is my job. So, but it's now, as you told me, as a circumstance. So.
And for other brands, big brands on the market, you create the ideas yourself, or they also maybe sometimes give you good ideas, and you try to put them into life, like
depends. Some brands just pick up from my creation. Other brands, we have a good relationship, so we discuss about idea. Then I try to put on yarn the idea, and they give me the color combination because they want a special color for the market. So for some customer, the biggest customer I have, we work together.
Yes. With their design department.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What yarn you dream to create, but for now you can't do this, and what are the reasons?
I think you call the blow yarn, Sofilo yarn. It's something we tried to spin 4 or 5 years ago, and we make a yarn. It's called alpaca air. It's close to the one of drops, but we have a lot of problem in production. mostly depends because the machine we have is not the correct machine to make that yarn. But in March, we finally receive machine to spin blow yarn. So next winter, finally, we can start to make blow yarn with our philosophy. So with the color and all the rest we are able to do.
With different lengths, like thin and
yes,
different.
length, different composition, but always stay and working on the color. So maybe something will be with cashmere, other with alpaca or with silk. Always on a high level market product, but with our color philosophy.
Yes, I want to say thank you from us as a company which works with you several years, and from our clients, that your quality is always good and high level.
Thanks.
Maybe you can give us some ideas on what new yarns we should expect in future. You just told about blown, okay, yarns in autumn winter season. Maybe some other directions you give us and our clients.
We, as I told you, we continue with the Poema line. So we will add a new color in Poema. In Poema alpaca and Poema cashmere, because it's yarn that we are selling good. So the Poema will continue. We will make a very fancy chain that we will call and then we increase the color card of our wool, cashmere, and silk yarn, the cash silk. We sell very, very good this yarn, so we had 9 new color, I don't remember. Then we will have 4 sock yarn for next season.
4.
2, we continue with 2 of this season, and we add 2 new one. So we will have a 4 yarn in sock yarn. And then we have 3 yarn chunky. And then what else? A new yarn in alpaca, solid color and kind of dégradé mélange. I try to make some sophisticated color. And then, a new chain in cashmere, in woolen cashmere, very, very thin, but with a lot of volume. So, and then sorry?
Like Sofio cashmere?
Yes, thinner than Sofio cashmere. So more light than Sofio cashmere with a different color card, but that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then a mohair yarn.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite ones. I like snood from it. My wife Ayana has, and 3 my children also have snood from this yarn. Favorite for neck. Yes. So, and what about sock yarn? It will be the same composition as was, or you develop a new composition for new?
The composition, we say always in wool, the same wool we use with the same treatment. So always wool and nylon. What we change is only the fancy effect.
The color.
Yes, we make 2 very, very fancy, very particular. The 2 new ones.
So they will be fancy, not solid.
The problem of solid, honestly, is too difficult to make solid sock yarn in Italy with a competitive prices.
Yes, I understand.
We cannot compete with other country where the standard sock yarn is produced. They have different costs, so we risk to make a yarn solid and to be much more expensive than other company. But we don't want to start to buy yarn and resell. As I told you before, we produce everything. So
can I ask some questions about production? As I understand, in Italy, there are many factories which do one part of the production process.
exactly.
And that's why every this company gives a very good results. For example, if a factory only dies, it gives it can buy a good machines, very with rich amount of effects, and they can give the market possibility to make many effects.
Exactly.
Correct?
It's correct.
And so you as a factory, you have something your own machines and something you use as
we have our own machine to make the fancy yarn. We have a place in Biella where we have all our machine, all our warehouse for component. Then we have our own machine to ball. But for instance, the dye house, we use a dye house in Biella. Or spin the standard yarn, we have a collaboration with a spinner in Biella that make only classic yarn. And this is the only possible way to work. I mean, in Italy, because have all the production inside. You hear me? Okay. All the production inside, it will be a problem because you need to spin too many kilo to be able to have everything inside. So for that reason, and also Biella is famous in the world for the wool. So it's more easy to use the small company that spin or twist or dye, but more or less all the company work that way.
Okay. Okay. I think these are the main questions which we wanted to ask you. Right now, I have one more question about silk mohair. What are your plans on silk mohair? Do you produce silk mohair for now, or do you plan in future? What is the history with this composition?
You know, we had a yarn, silk mohair. When I started to make it, I try a way to make something different from the silk mohair present in the market. So when we spin it, we dye all the color of mohair on tops, and then we mixing at least 3 colors together. So we try to make a range of color melange. And the beginning, the sale was slow, then start to sell good. Then 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the prices of mohair rise too much, more than 40%. So it became honestly too difficult to stay on the market with that composition. And then actually the main problem we have, and this is the reason why we don't have a silk mohair in collection, is that the company that sell the tops sell also the yarn. So for instance, the two biggest
you can't beat the
company that have mohair in South Africa sell directly also the yarn, and so it's difficult for us to be competitive with them. So I know mohair is popular in Russia. That is something that for now and for next year probably we will not have.
Yes, and as a provement of your words, we last years tried to develop a relationship with South Africa and find their silk mohair. because it's of course very hard, but we also find opportunity to buy and get a very good quality.
Yes, they have good quality with a good prices. So for us, it's difficult. So we try to stay where we are able to move.
Yes, it's a correct business commercial position. So, Riccardo, thank you very much for your interview, for your time. Maybe you can have some words to our Russian viewers. So maybe tell them some good words about what you wish.
First, honestly, I have to congratulate with the Russian knitter, because every time I look what the knitter make in Russia, the quality is it's very high. They need much better than the great part of Italian knitter of other European knitter. So, and then I hope that they continue to use our yarn, and maybe every year more and more. And nothing. We hope to be able to offer yarn that people or Russian people will like it. So this is my what I hope.
Thank you. We also, as a company, see your brand in our future strategy of sales, and we want to develop it. It is in our top leaders of sales. It gives our customers a great experience in quality, in colors, and in design. As you told, they need very professionally, and they have a lot of ideas.
Yes,
a lot of knitters in Russia make great garments from your yarns. So we hope to continue the cooperation with you, and thank you for your yarn. It was a good time to see you. Thank you, Riccardo.
And thank you to give me the possibility to tell something about our company.
Yeah, thank you. So good luck to your father, to your sister, health, and a lot of money, a lot of good clients.
You, and we'll say Merry Christmas to you, and also to all your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Ciao, ciao.